Joining us in the studio, Catherine Amidon from the Museum of the White Mountains. How are you this morning?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
I am doing very well. We spoke way back in the early days of the museum, and since then, you've got a lot to talk about the Museum of the White Mountains. Let's give everybody a quick introduction about what the museum's all about.
The Museum of the White Mountains promotes, protects, and preserves the history, environmental and cultural legacy of the region. And so we have collections and exhibition plans that span across many disciplines. We are located in Plymouth, New Hampshire, right off exit 25 on 93. We're very close to the center of town. We're just a little bit up the hill.
Yeah.
And we have had just overwhelming interest so far. We have had about 4,000 people through the doors in the last since we opened in February. We've had 34,000 people visit us online, and we anticipated that. We anticipated a very high traffic online because so many people who love the White Mountains don't live here.
Right.
You know, they live in Boston, they live in New York, they live in Washington. We have visitors online from all over the world. And then we try to take programming out to people. We've had a couple of exhibitions in the lower level of the Weather Discovery Center right here in North Conway.
Yeah.
We currently have one on the hurricane of 1938, the Great Blowdown. And that brings in a different group of people and raises awareness. We've also done other types of outreach. We did a program this summer at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston that include discussion about hiking and grand hotels and artists and music of the era. We filled the auditorium.
That's terrific.
The Boston Museum of Fine Arts with a very different kind of audience than the MFA usually gets.
Yeah.
And so we're finding supporters all over the place.
Well, the amazing thing is, as I don't have to tell you, but the history and what we have here in the White Mountains is absolutely amazing. It's a varied and long history, and like you say, the artifacts and all the different elements that make up the White Mountains. And you guys have put it right in one spot, and just an amazing location.
We have, and we've had some amazing donations. Jack and Ann Newton gave their collection of 6,000 rare White Mountain books. Lucy Crawford, first edition, right up to today. And so overnight, we became a research center by having that one collection. And we have had generous donations from so many people. And we're in the process of putting all of that online. We're scanning, tagging, and uploading to our site. We have our website that you can go to.
Right,
you can click right onto it, yes. And we've also uploaded it onto a system called Content DM, which a lot of the major museums and libraries around the world use. And that means that our audience is much broader, much, much broader than those who would just seek the Museum of the White Mountains. We only have about 3,000 of our objects scanned, but the process, it's about 15 minutes per image or object.
I imagine,
to do it. And the wonderful thing is it's being managed by the collections assistant, but it's being done by students. These students are coming in as interns, and they are getting very concrete work experience. They are learning to digitize properly and with a workflow process that can be brought into libraries, corporate sites, and museums. So these students are gaining a concrete job skill, which, as we all know in New Hampshire, is a very important thing.
Oh, absolutely. So that's great. So you're affiliated with the college, but you're not. It's kind of one of those symbiotic relationships.
We are part of the college.
Yeah.
We are part of Plymouth State University, and you know, the university and the president have just been so supportive, as has been my incredible advisory committee. Very, very wonderful people.
Well, I know. I guess I phrased that wrong, because you were talking about your donations and everything else, and that comes not from the college, but that comes from
that. Yeah, that is important to note. That all exhibitions and programming are funded through grants and donations. Everything we do is free and open to the public. Exhibitions, lectures, unless we do them at the MFA. And we have, for example, a poetry reading this Thursday morning at 9:30 with poems written by students inspired by the paintings in the current exhibition, Passing Through the Allure of the White Mountains. We hold events on an ongoing basis, lectures, talks. All of this is free, and all of this is something that we fundraise for, because we believe that we are a gateway to the White Mountains for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And it is terrific. I can just imagine, I mean, maybe when I was in college I might not have thought this, but the resources that these college students have.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible. And like you say, just learning the things about obviously scanning and the various elements, you've brought something that is probably very unique to a college environment.
It is, and it's a skill set that's needed more and more as more objects, images, and books are digitized across the country. Corporate records, libraries, etc. It's a wonderful skill to have.
Yeah. And I have been on the website, and I went through some of those pages, and we're looking at all of the images, and I didn't go through them all, obviously, but looked through them, and it's very well done. And like you say, and so you get the information that you need, because so many times when you go on a website or whatever, it just shows a picture and then it's like, well, what is that? And you can't find that out, but you've packed it all in and gotten the information in there too. So it's not just a picture. It's
correct.
What is this picture?
Yes, and then you can make connections from there. And as time moves forward, we would love to be partnering our online collections with the vast holdings of the wonderful institutions around New Hampshire. We already clearly work closely with the Mount Washington Observatory.
Right.
We have a memorandum of understanding with the Appalachian Mountain Club, which has wonderful holdings. We've been working with the Randolph Mountain Club. No one place has the history of the region. Together, we all have it.
Right, and there is so much history.
There is.
So you're located, as you said, you're right there at Plymouth State University.
Yes.
Just up the hill from some great pizza places too, right there.
Exactly.
So you can make that part of your day. And so it's one of those things that it's kind of an easy on, easy off the highway is what I'm trying to get to.
Very much so.
If you've got some time, zip off the highway, go and visit the museum, and then zip back into and you're not searching somewhere far and wide. You're right there.
And in fact, if you're over there for the day, our friends up at the New England Ski Museum at the base of Cannon, that too, you just zip off the highway. They are half an hour away, and it makes a wonderful day. The day that you can't quite get out skiing or hiking because of the weather or whatever, you have a wonderful day on the west side.
And what are your hours at the museum?
Our hours are generally 10 to 5. However, weekends we are open 12 to 5, and on Wednesday nights we're open till 7.
Terrific. So
closed on Mondays.
So closed on Mondays, but 6 other days, and it makes it very easy to. So those of you who won't travel on Monday, well, you got to pick another day to check out the Museum of the White Mountains. So the first thing, probably, when you're thinking about it, go to the website. As you say, the easiest thing to do is to just Google Museum of the White Mountains. Mm-hmm. It's got a Plymouth EDU address, and it's kind of a long one, but go to Museum of the White Mountains, find out, get all the information, and then probably kind of figure out when you want to stop by. But I'd encourage anybody to stop by. Absolutely.
We are full of objects and images, and we're going to be changing exhibitions fairly soon. In March, we're opening our second exhibition, Beyond Granite, the Geology of Adventure. And so it's going to look at things like, why do people ski in Tuckerman Ravine? Well, it's a glacial cirque. When you hike across Lafayette and Lincoln, what are you hiking across? Why is it there?
Yeah.
Why is the region so known for rock climbing and cannon and cathedral? And so it's a great show curated by Sarah Garlick, and we have this wonderful technology coming in that was developed by Carnegie Mellon and NASA for the Range Rover, which allows people to zoom in an incredible degree. You will see a tiny band across your computer screen that will be a mountain range, and you can zoom into the point where you can see flakes of rocks or leaves.
Wow.
So it's going to be interactive with labels talking about what's going on geologically. We're really excited about bringing this new form of technology into higher education.
Well, that's great. So obviously a lot of things going on at the Museum of the White Mountains. So definitely check out the website. And Catherine, thanks so much